Yes, hello and welcome to the Any Given Sunday Australia podcast, the only podcast that's happy to be awake at 5 a.m. We are at the 5 a.m. mark of the season, which is huge. Joining us for the first time, Charlie, in what feels like a month. It probably is a month. Danny Webb, AGSAU. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you, mate. Happy to be back. Married man now. I'm a
Married
married
man.
man.
You've got a very-
Married man. Got the
very
bling. Got the
shiny
very
figure.
shiny bling. But yeah, had an amazing trip. America, what a place. It was so good to not have to be up at 5 a.m. to watch the games. It was just watching the games at normal times. It was like much more palatable to, rock up to Philly for a 1 p.m. game and not feel like 5 in the morning.
And your Philly experience was about as good as you could get. I was going to say, I doubt you've taken your ring off yet, but I don't think you've taken this off yet either in the jacket.
It does smell. It smells a little bit.
Yeah. Smells crisp. It's crisp and fresh. So I would... Huge shout out to my wife, number one. Like, that was the best day of the trip. Closely followed. Also closely followed by the Philly experience. And, like, that just couldn't have gone better. Huge shout out to NFL Australia and New Zealand for hooking us up, and Philly Australia, New Zealand, and Jessica from Philly as well. She met us before the game, took us down onto the field, got to watch the players warm up, and then we went back to hold the flag during the national anthem. All the players came and prayed right at my feet. Like, I can't, words don't even begin to describe how good that was. And then went back to these amazing seats, and we sat next to this beautiful couple, Stephen and Brianna, who ended up taking us out for dinner afterwards. They were just like, everyone says the Philly fans are meant to be like brutal and rough and rude and all that sort of stuff. I had the nicest, happiest
You
experience.
won, that's why.
Yeah.
And we won.
It is funny.
Got to watch Scatterboo snap his ankle in person.
Wow, you looked a bit too excited about that. But it's really funny that you could say that, because I was about to say, what a beautiful experience. Imagine doing that with a decent fan base. It would have been incredible. But,
No, they were. Everyone was like so accommodating. The stadium itself, like, breathtaking. Weather was perfect as well. I was hot in the stadium. You don't really get that often in Philly. Also want to shout out Chris, who was our flight attendant. We flew with Qantas, not a sponsor, but should be a sponsor. Yeah. Flew with Qantas both ways, and we had the same flight attendant on the way there and on the way back, which never really happens. And he treated us like we were in first class, even though we're still in the economy. So major shout out to Chris as well.
wow, what a successful trip.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I hate you guts.
Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
Now we're back though. Back to the 5 a.m. Set those alarms.
Yeah. Yeah. We're done for this week. We've got a massive game, and it's in prime time. So that's
Prime time is perfect.
Charles, we spoke about it the other day. It's been a huge few weeks. Now that we got Danny back, it's even bigger. But the deadline period that you spoke about has now come to an end, and that's our major talking point in this episode.
And there was that big flurry of trades right at the deadline. There were a few in the days leading up, though. I think the Eagles actually got most of their work done a bit early,
Yeah.
which is terribly organised.
It's Howie.
Howie.
Howie does Howie
Howie
things.
Roseman gets it done. It's interesting, like, Howie seems to just get more deals done than anyone else. And I don't understand why, given that you guys won the Super Bowl last year. Why is everyone so keen to trade with you guys? It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Bring 'em all.
People don't have any competitive nous in that regard. Some big trades, but also some big trades that didn't happen. We're going to get into what did happen, but it was clear that the Jets were having a fire sale. They, and it's no surprise, they've got one win on the season. They absolutely need to change their roster because what they've got isn't going to do it at this stage. And they let some good talent go in trades. But the one that we all had our eye on was Breece Hall, who is still physically a dominant runner, but just not in a good scheme and not happy. I am amazed that the Chargers and the Chiefs didn't get a deal done on Breece Hall. That still shocks me because I thought they were two teams that if you added Breece to those teams, it would change their fortunes for the rest of the year.
So allegedly the Jets, all they wanted was a third for him as well. And the Chiefs only offered a fourth. Just give him a third, and get Breece and actually turn around your season. I can't believe if that was actually the sticking point, who knows? I'm not in the Jets office room right now, but if that was all that needed to be done to get it done, surely you just bump it up around.
You were that keen to get it done that an hour after the period had finished, you were still calling for it to get it done.
I forgot I was on daylight savings time. I was like, where's this trade? But it was, after the deadline. And I was shocked. I was genuinely surprised that it
I thought
didn't
the
happen.
Chargers, you made a good point about the Chargers, although they're lacking in that space and really need it. But we will talk about the ones that did get done. And I think, you said the Jets were you almost said the biggest winners some people would say, because they're going to control the next two drafts. They've got multiple firsts in both of the drafts, but they've given up a lot. The first one was Sauce Gardner, so he was a first in each, plus A.D. Mitchell, which we've spoken about in the past. It's been quite serviceable for the Colts.
Serviceable for the Colts, but a couple of mental errors this season. And
he was on. Did he drop it over?
He dropped it over the line, celebrating too early, and also I think had another mental error. Like he's had a couple this season in a team that is rolling, and obviously you look at the trades that they made; they are serious. You know, they picked up Sauce. Obviously, they're going for it, and so obviously. A.D. Mitchell wasn't fitting in. Like, he wasn't part of what they saw the scheme being, their plans going forward. A good one for the Jets to pick up, who now have, that's the beginnings of a really good receiver core that they've got. Is it Garrett Wilson? Is there other great, who you would take in a heartbeat any time if he's healthy. So, it's interesting. That, to me, is a lot to spend on Sauce Gardner, though. And I know
that's where I'm saying the Jets, they've got 2 first-rounders for a first-rounder from a couple of years ago, plus a player, and I'm presuming lost most of his contract, if not all of it.
It was a big contract too. It was up in the 130 mil.
So
range.
I feel like the Jets, like you said, they'd bottomed out, and they've actually finally bottomed out where they've gone, do you know what? Let's
start again.
Yeah, let's get some players in. It's the first good sign for 50 years for the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. And it's hopeful for next year, and you would think, they're going to have the first pick anyway at this stage. You can't imagine who else is going to be contending.
The Saints.
Saints, yeah. But, it's if the Jets know what they're doing, they will have they will have that pick. They won't try too hard.
Well, they are trying. They're trying pretty hard. They just sold everyone.
Yeah, that's right. But, yeah, that's right. They're much thinner. They've lost all their depth now, and, it's... So they are in the box seat for next year. The big thing is, though, it's not a strong quarterback draft, and that's the problem they need to solve first. They absolutely...
I wouldn't be surprised if they hold out for the next one.
They could hold out for the next one, or do they have enough that they can put together a trade for a quarterback that someone else wants to move on from? I don't know. If someone's good enough to be a starting quarterback, no one's going to let them go. So they could be in a position where they draft a great team, but they've got another season without a quarterback that can win them games. They're still in that position. The Colts, interesting from the Colts' point of view, that's a lot for the Colts to give up.
They're going all in.
Colts are going all in.
They are going all in, but it's the kind of trade that is not normal for the Colts. The Colts are more of that draft, develop, re-sign mentality rather than the big splash buy and giving up your next couple of drafts for it. So it says, one, they're really happy with who they've got at the moment and where they're at. And 2, it is a change in strategy, whether that's the new owner who's on the sideline wearing the headset now, or just a change of mentality with them that they're going to go hard and they're not going to, they're not going to hold back this year because they're in a better position than they were. I know every team at the trade deadline is angry that their team didn't pick up whoever got picked up. And at the Bills, when they heard that Sauce Gardner was out, they were going, oh, well, we could have had Sauce Gardner. And I was like, I don't think he's worth 2 firsts and Keon Coleman or, an equivalent wide receiver from the Bills. If that had happened, I would have been like, that's a massive mistake. Yeah. And I think Sauce Gardner...
we talked about it the other day. You finally had a couple that have come through that look good in the cornerback position. So I don't know if you need that kind of... Well, you always need a Sauce Gardner, but...
Yeah. But it's also... I have a feeling that would have felt like a good deal to buy Sauce Gardner maybe a season and a half ago. But even though the Jets have been a bad operation, his production has not been good. He hasn't been that great player on a shit team. Yeah. He's not delivered on the contract.
We actually have a question from the fans. So I got a phone call last night about it. Shout out to Flogboy. Does he get better? Like he's been elite since he came in. Every player that leaves the Jets gets better.
Yeah, well,
or the New York Giants.
Yeah, even look at Daniel Jones, right? So now his shoulders must feel now that they've sold the farm, given up 2 firsts to get Sauce to help them. They're pushing this year. They're going all in for this year by bringing Sauce in. So I feel like a lot of pressure's on Daniel Jones as well to continue to perform. But then exactly right, Sauce has to go there and be the Sauce of old.
Do you think Daniel Jones knew that this deal was in the pipeline and that pressure was on his shoulders when he started throwing picks against the Steelers? Do you think that was starting to get into his head, or do you think the Colts were expecting that kind of performance against the Steelers when they were doing this deal with the Jets? Like,
I think the Steelers were in his head.
Yeah.
Their defense was enormous. TJ Watt was huge. The second part of that Jets trade, Quinnen Williams getting traded to not Mitchell, Quinnen Williams getting traded to the Cowboys. He's gone for a 26 second and 27 first plus Mazzy Smith. The 27 first, Cowboys have the Packers 27, so whichever one's better will be sent, which I think is just a nice little caveat they've put in there as
that's
well.
a nice little wrinkle to the deal.
Whichever one's better, we'll have that one. So,
Looking at the way the Cowboys have gone, and Dak Prescott has had the best season he's had in a while, but the rest of the team is like they're not having a good season. That felt like a strange
I still don't see him making the playoffs.
deal to me to go and get Quinnen Williams. They're not going to you don't feel like they can make the playoffs.
They're not knocking off the Eagles.
No. Please, no. But their defense has really been struggling. Like we've seen it every single week when we go punting and go have a look at it. Like every single team is picking apart that defense. Like there's one of the worst pass defenses in the league.
Yeah, that's. I guess they're going to have more pressure up front, but they're just they're witches' hats on the outside. Like the Broncos, just tore them apart. So I'm guessing that they're hoping that a bit more pressure up front will make it easier
Help the secondary
for the
out a bit.
secondary, but otherwise they'll just stand still and they'll do whatever they wanted.
It's almost as though Jerry Jones is a senile old man making weird ass decisions because the consequences are unreal to him. I don't know. It's that to me. Quinnen Williams is a great player, and you'd love to have him on your team. Like that goes without saying. But it felt like a strange.
Did he want out?
Sorry.
Did he want out?
Wow. Wouldn't you?
I
His
think
brother's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought he wanted out like last season or the season before. Like I thought it was always knocking on the door of like the grass is greener somewhere else. The grass has to be
Apparently
greener.
Quincy was a part of the deal, but they couldn't get that across the line. They wanted to take both of them.
Oh, really? Really?
You heard it here first.
Wow.
And now, because he's been benched now. Brother got booted and now Quincy's been benched.
Things are good in New York.
In the Williams family, anyway. Quinnen's going, fuck you, I'm out of here. I like the next one, Rashid Shaheed. Hard to say when you're tongue-tied. He's going to the Seahawks from the Saints. The Saints obviously doing the same thing, going for that number one pick. I like this for the Seahawks. Just adding another wrinkle to the offensive scheme. They've got a deep wide receiver room now.
And the thing about this, Rashid Shaheed is a great receiver to have in your room, full stop. But as if Jackson Smith and Jigba wasn't dangerous enough this season, you get Rashid Shaheed out there who
Another deep threat.
He's fast on the outside. He can run a go route, and it's hard to keep up with him. That makes it so. Pick your poison. Who are you going to stop? You know, who are you going to put man on and run and put your fastest cornerback on? Is it Rashid Shaheed or Jackson Smith and Jigba? You can't cover both, and that is just why the Seahawks are sneaky. This like arguably the scariest team in the NFC because they're playing so well and adding a weapon like that, and Darnold can hit those downhill those downfield
He's been
threats.
playing well this season.
Yes.
God, he's been playing well, and now you've just given him another weapon to throw to. I've always liked Rashid, and I'm glad that he's out of the Saints. Like, no offense to Saints fans out there, but like it would be good for him to be on a winning side for a little bit and just to see what he can actually do. And having Sam Darnold throw to you is going to be they're like already a dangerous offensive side without him. Now add him, scary times.
I like that it takes the focus a little bit off JSN, and it's going to make him more dangerous.
Absolutely. As if he wasn't dangerous enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting one about this is I know for a fact from people I've spoken to in Buffalo,
Ooh, facts.
The
Boots on the ground.
The Bills and the Seahawks had both made the same offer, which I think was a fourth for Rashid Shaheed, I think. And
a fourth and a fifth.
And but then the Seahawks added the fifth, and the Bills weren't willing to go. So that was the difference on that deal.
I've heard that a lot of people, like you say, that why were they trading with the Eagles, Bills, and Chiefs? A lot of people were saying, no, we're not dealing with you.
Well,
How's that make
have a look at the number of players we picked up by the trade. Like that rings true.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. Like Brendan Bean, the GM at the Bills, gave what I thought was a surprisingly honest press conference about it all afterwards, and he said a number of things. And one thing he said was that with the exception of literally like a elite quarterbacks and maybe your Myles Garrett's, every player is available for a price. There's no player in the league who can't be bought if you offer the right amount. But there is a limit. And when you're a team like the Chiefs and the Bills, it could be that they don't want the Chiefs and Bills to get stronger, and that's fair enough. But it's also the fact that those are the teams who they're going to have, second and third year. I know that the Bills have to re-sign, I think, 2 O-linemen in the next couple of years that are at an elite level. And to be able to afford to do that or replace them with someone good, you can't give up just an extra fifth. That fifth actually means something to those teams because that's the only way you can remain, you can keep an O-line together or you can keep the full roster together. But you could also understand that no one in the AFC wants to make the Chiefs or the Bills any better. You can completely understand that.
Yeah, I love the narrative.
It's good.
We've got the same from them. Nah, fuck them. Jacoby Myers, this was an interesting one out of the Raiders. Again, could you go down that path that maybe they're starting to go, well, our season's finished? Jacoby, he was second in targets. I think it's Trey Tucker with Brock Bowers being out a couple of weeks. He's clearly number 1, but Jacoby was a number 2 or number 3. So going to the Jags, who have had a couple of injury worries. I think we said Travis Hunter, is he on IR at the moment?
Yeah, Travis Hunter's out.
So just bolstering, and the Jags just thinking maybe we're still in contention this season. They're still on. We said this, still on track for 14-3.
Yeah, they just can't lose.
Can't lose another game.
It's a long way to go. Yeah. It's a long way to go. Very smart by the Jags here to pick up another weapon because if they are going to go for it, which they should, you're 5-3. Like, it's your time to push now. And if you
the best they've looked at, I feel like a few years.
Yeah,
they made that playoff push a couple of years ago, but I don't know. I've more confidence in the Jags this year.
The second half in that playoff against the Chargers,
where they put on 30 or something.
That was the best they've looked for about. I would say 25 minutes of football was the best they'd looked. This is probably the most consistent they've been, but they're still very inconsistent. I'm still not confident about the Jags on any given Sunday. So it's good that they're adding. I'm not sure that I'm not entirely sure it's not good money after bad though. We'll see.
Not a Jacoby Myers fan.
No. I'm saying he is good, but I'm not sure the Jags are I'm not sure that they're worth loading up on this season.
Yes. So how confident are you in your 14-3?
It's a long way to go. It is
Still a chance.
Still a chance.
Still a chance.
Crazy things have happened. Might have to change to the 13-4. Like, I'll settle for that.
Yeah, I'll even give you 12-5.
And it still counts. Still counts as a hot take.
But I do think good pick up for them. But yeah, make a valid point that they're still chasing the Bucks. Who are they with? No, they're AFC, the Colts. Chasing the Colts. So
that's what I found interesting is, realistically, you can't imagine they catch the Colts this year just based on form and the way that they're playing. And so that's what I found.
Well, the Jags are coming off a win and the Colts are coming off a loss, so you never know.
Well, that's a good sample size of 1 week. Yeah.
Disregard the rest of them.
Or maybe it is, it's also possible that they have accepted that they're not going to win their division, but they really have decided for their franchise it's important that they make the wild card and show progress as an organisation. You can imagine they've got a GM and a coach that feel that way.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, they have to do something. They've been really, besides that one little playoff, they've kind of been irrelevant since Blake Bortles in 2014 when he made the playoffs. So, yeah, I think it would be a massive push for them to make the wild card and maybe catch the Colts. We'll see. 14-3 catches the Colts. Special mention, obviously, we haven't had you for a month, so we haven't spoken enough Eagles. You wanted to mention an Eagle now.
Yeah, well, it's good that the Eagles picked up Jair Alexander because he was originally a Packer, then went to the Ravens, got benched, and now we've picked him up. Like, Eagles secondary has really struggled this year, so it's good to bring in another cornerback. But more importantly, we're going to play the Packers in Lambeau this week. So it'll be good to see him suit back up against your Packers. Up? Well, the rumor is that he is.
That'd be huge.
Well, because it's not till Monday Night Football, which is our Tuesday. So he's got plenty of time.
And this wasn't a last minute.
This was an early deal. This is like 2 or 3 days before the deadline.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. Good to see him suit up against your Packers.
And do you believe just sort of given his last couple of seasons, do you think he's a difference maker for you guys
Well,
at the Eagles? Like,
he's not the player that he was. He's not the player that he once was when he was playing for the Packers. But hopefully, another change in uniform maybe revamps him a little bit. Maybe he just prefers playing in green.
Because he was elite. For us, he was, I reckon, top 3.
Absolutely.
Cornerback. Like, when he was healthy, that was the problem. Did have a lot of injury troubles. And then went to the Ravens, started off, got torched in that first game against you. And then
in that last quarter in particular. Just couldn't stop it, yeah.
And then a couple of injuries, and then the last 2 weeks he was a healthy scratch, which is never a good sign when you're a healthy scratch.
But that's interesting. Going back to the decision to let him go from the Packers, we talked about it, that.
We look like geniuses.
Yeah, but there was obviously the reason to let him go. He's a quality player, or has a quality history, but obviously the injuries and something else, was stopping the Packers from hanging on to him. You see that play out again at the Ravens. I wonder if the Eagles can get value out of him, or maybe it's just off into the sunset.
The Eagles are desperate though. Like let's be honest with that. With our defense at the moment, we are desperate. So I feel like any form of help or even just a new face, give some guys some rest. Whatever it ends up being, it's gonna benefit the Eagles in some way. Having an extra defender is going to benefit the Eagles.
All right.
Can I say one thing about the trade period? One more comment that came out of the Brandon Bean press conference, and I thought it was one of the funnier comments said about the trade period. Because he was getting hammered for doing nothing, right? And a lot of GMs, their fan bases are angry that they did nothing. And he said, it seemed like a very busy trade period. I think now you have a lot of young GMs that played a lot of fantasy football and Madden and just want to make trades all the time. And I thought that was just a very funny old man sort of, boomer sort of comment of these kids coming in here thinking you can just trade everyone all the time. But it seems like those young GMs were making trades and he wasn't.
Yeah, kick the can down the road. For those that played cricket, a good leave is as good as a good shot. So.
There isn't enough cricket wisdom in NFL, I think that's safe to say.
We're Australian show, we've got to bring it in. All right, some interesting games that we're going to touch on this week. There is a lot. I was just doing my tips before the start of this. There's a lot of 99% to 1% games this week, which is always rife for a upset. But the games that are going to be interesting, the first one, Charles, Patriots at the Bucks. You know the Patriots better than us too, because we didn't know that Drake May was second in the betting. But how's this one going to go?
Well, the Patriots are the real deal, and they're about a year ahead of where everyone expected them to be. And
Drake May's the real deal.
Drake May is the real deal, but Vrabel is the right coach for that team. And it seems really obvious the guy won Super Bowls with the Patriots, so of course, he probably still had a locker there somewhere, with his name on it. But it's come together very well, and they are playing consistently. They're that team that they started to get on a roll, and you were waiting for them to buckle under pressure, and they haven't. They've won like 6 in a row, and they are strong everywhere. I'm not sure if they're Gonzalez, their cornerback. I think he was doing some light reps at practice. He's not back from injury yet. So that's kind of still a big hole. When he comes back, their defense is going to be
Has he been out for
a real problem. Yeah, he's been out for a few weeks.
Because that's a massive week against the Bucks, who have elite wide receivers.
Yeah.
And having the week off, they're going to hopefully be fresh, because we're obviously big Bucks fans on this show, and we want to see Baker and his Bucks on the wide receivers be elite.
Yeah, and so I think that's just an extra challenge that they're missing their best cornerback.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a good game. I still favour the Bucks with this. I think off the bye, at home, rested, and they're a good operation that's really ramping up for the run home, and it is about time the Patriots lose. It's a bit of wishful thinking for me though, because if they lose and we beat the Dolphins, we're level with the Patriots at the top of the AFC East at that point. Although we've got the Bucks next week, I think. So
You've got each other.
That's right, and then we've got each other. So it's a really interesting time as far as actually winning the AFC East. It's probably going to get decided in the next 3 weeks, and this is one of those Jenga pieces. This is probably the biggest test that Patriots outfit have faced, though, and if they win this, then they're even better than we thought.
So who you got?
I've got the Bucks.
You got to go to the Bucks. You can't not back Baker at home, I think, and off a bye.
Yeah, I love the Bucks, but I'm going the Patriots just to keep the AFC East.
Contrary all the
Keep
time.
it so nice and juicy. The Ravens at the Vikings. We've kind of thrown this one in there. The Vikings coming off a very delicious win in Detroit. The Ravens getting Lamar back. Makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, this game is going to be much closer than probably any of us are thinking as well. I think a lot of these games, even though you said it's like a 99 to 1% swing, I don't look at it this week like that whatsoever. I reckon these games are like we're getting to the point end of the season and so many teams are outperforming what we thought they were originally going to be doing at the season. And the Vikings is probably one of them as well, like because all their
Defensively, they're strong.
Defensively, they're strong, but then all their like quarterback issues that they had, like got injured, and then Carson Wentz coming in, then he's injured, and all that sort of stuff. But they're still, they beat the Lions. Like it's an impressive win. And then for the Ravens to have Lamar back, and if he's fully back in form, like he's an absolute beast. Like he's a beast coming in. But like you said, that Vikings defense against a beast of an offense is going to be really, really tight.
And I like the other way, where it's a very young offense with obviously elite wide receivers against a defense that's struggled for a lot of the season. So could be high scoring.
I still don't. What I find fascinating about this game is I don't have any confidence either way. I don't think we've seen enough of JJ McCarthy to really know.
No.
And I don't think
he's only
we've
finished 3 games.
That's right. And I don't think we've seen enough of the Ravens with Lamar back, and also just anything to give us confidence that the Ravens are who we thought they were going to be at the start of the season.
They played the Thursday, didn't they? So they had that mini bye as well, which kind of plays into it. Have that extra 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that'll help them, of course. But it's one of those games where I have no idea how it's going. Yeah, like I find it almost impossible to pick this game because I don't think we really know these two teams properly. A lot of the teams in the league have formed their identity and we know what they do and we know who they are. I still think these two we don't.
You say it's impossible, but I'm going to make it.
I'm going to have to make it possible. I'm going to go the Ravens. I think it's about time their defense started to turn it around and actually tighten the screws.
I'm going the Vikings. Them being at home, coming off the win against the Lions, a little bit of form. And I think, the Ravens defense just quite isn't there yet.
Joe's 1 week in football is a long time because the Vikings got smashed the week before and everyone was saying they're cooked. Beat the Lions. I'm going the Vikings as much as I hate to say it. JJ is going to have a big day, I reckon, against that secondary of the Ravens. So it's yuck, but I'll say it. Rams at 49ers. This was an upset, 2-3 weeks ago? Now back in the 49ers. Can the Rams turn around?
I think absolutely they can. I still think the Rams are one of the best outfits in the NFL this season. That game was an upset. 49ers playing above where everyone expected them to be. It's a divisional game. They're always weird. We make all of those, caveats. I still think the 49ers just have too many holes, and I think the Rams are ramping up. I think they're getting better and better as we go. They're ramping up. But I do think that the Rams are just too strong, and Stafford is playing great football. He's really exciting to watch this season. Puka Nacua back, healthy. I just think it's pretty hard to stop the Rams when they're on a roll.
Stafford's playing amazing football. And I think
He's thrown 21 touchdowns, I think. Halfway
Yes,
through the
crazy.
season.
He has.
And his last game against the 49ers, he threw for like 380 yards. Like he's absolutely dominated in that sense. So I think the Rams are going to come in here hungrier and want it more than probably the 49ers.
Bit of a revenge game.
Bit of a revenge game. Take that back.
Yeah.
On the topic of Stafford, and this is a digression, it's not this game specific, but it feels to me like the MVP conversation is almost the most wide open it's been halfway through the season for a while. I think Stafford is on that list. Baker Mayfield's still on that list. Drake May's putting his hand up. Josh Allen throws the ball well in one game and everyone's talking about him again.
Favourite.
Yeah, he's the favourite. But that's that's that sort of the recency bias of winning it the year before. And the week before, Mahomes was the favourite because he was throwing it all around the park until the Bills stopped him. So there's a lot of players that.
You're forgetting a bloke named Jonathan Taylor.
And Jonathan Taylor is probably better than all of them. So for where we are in the season,
I didn't mention it. We talked about it the other day. He's 13th in the betting.
he is much better than 13th best player in the NFL. So yeah, that's.
Well, you see this again. Digressing. See it last week. Stop him. Stop the Colts.
All of a sudden,
Does that
Jones
not
has
mean
to be
that he is the most
all of a
valuable
sudden-
player?
Yeah, you stop him. All of a sudden, Daniel Jones has to be a really good quarterback.
But I feel like that's MVP written all over it.
Absolutely.
We all know the MVP is really a quarterback award, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Was it Peterson? Was the last one?
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head. Steelers at Chargers. Very interesting game. I think that this is a battle of the defenses, really. Herbert and Rodgers will play their part, but I think it's whichever defense can dominate the other offense is going to win the game.
Yeah, so Chargers, I reckon, probably are going to be looking a little bit stronger here because they are at home. But the Steelers have really been surprising so far this season, and we were very quickly to write off Aaron Rodgers.
No, we.
We, this side of the couch.
I was very quick to write off
The brown
Aaron
couch
Rodgers.
said no.
Yeah.
And he's really gone out and probably shut us both up a little bit. But I don't know, like playing in so
If
far.
Aaron Rodgers has a problem with that, he knows where to find me.
at Charlie Pitt.
At Charlie Pick.
There's a seat right there.
Yeah, right here. Anytime you like Aaron Rodgers, right here.
So the Steelers going into the Chargers, you're so right. It's going to be a defense dominant game. So whichever defense can actually stop both these two quarterbacks, which are elite, whichever defense is stronger on the day, is going to take this one away.
Yeah, this is sneaky, possibly going to be the best game of the round. Like, there's a chance that this, I imagine it's going to go down to the wire. And
it feels like a 3-point kind of swing, doesn't it?
yeah,
A field goal game.
10-7.
That's what I was trying to
10-7
Nah,
game.
we don't want defense to dominate that much.
but there's also there is an element to which you have a look at the Steelers win last week. They've shown an ability to scheme up for an opposition this year. It's almost, particularly on the defense. Mike Tomlin seems to have shown a bit more creativity this year. I've felt like they were a bit stagnant, like strong but stagnant the last few seasons, and it felt like he schemed up perfectly to stop Jonathan Taylor and to take care of the Colts. And so I think that's a thing to keep an eye on. They're both strong defenses. Is Tomlin more creative at scheming up for this particular game? It could be that Harbaugh on the other side of it schemes up to take care of Aaron Rodgers. He's had plenty of years knowing what Aaron Rodgers can do, and he's had a good look at that Steelers offense, and they are stoppable. But I think it's not just strong defense versus strong defense. It's like who actually has the creativity to scheme up and stop the particular strengths.
Harbaugh
of the other
has
side.
stopped Rodgers in big playoff games with the Niners in the past, but it felt like last week with the Steelers, after a couple of weeks of them getting dominated on defense, was a real it looked like it hurt them the last few weeks. So they're like, we're coming out, and to that stagnant last few years, it was like TJ Watt or nothing. Where it kind of feels like they've got a few more options now.
That's right. I think that's absolutely fair to say. And I would lean, if I had to pick, I would lean Steelers.
You do have to pick.
I do have to pick. I'm going to lean Steelers. I personally think Chargers they're a better side, but just where they're at in their form at the moment, I sort of have a bit more trust in the Steelers defense to get the job done.
A little bit roller coaster. The
Yeah.
Chargers, aren't they?
Give me that roller coaster though, because I love the thrills. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Chargers here purely just because they're playing at home. Like this is such a flip of the coin game.
I am going to go to Steelers on a player that no one would really think. I think Joe Alt is still a little bit up and down whether he's going to play. So I'm saying that he's out and the Steelers will win.
Do you know what? The Chargers would definitely have won if they picked up Breece Hall. I think that would have made the difference. Would have made,
The swing
made
would
all
have
the
been,
difference. Yeah.
would have been 13-7. And the last game, which again could be game of the round, your Eagles, which at my Packers, it feels like my Packers have played at home a lot lately, which I'm not complaining about.
Just means you're away for the rest of the season.
No, we started off away a lot. What are we doing for this? We're at work.
Yeah. A big old watch party at work.
at work.
Sneakily on the phone.
Could be game of the week. Monday Night Football. I think you guys are favourites heading in after our loss last week.
Yeah, so after your loss, and then we coming off a bye, and then the week prior to that was when I was actually in Philly and watched them play against the Giants, where they really dominated them, which was
on the ground, and we got beaten on the ground last week, which hurts.
Yeah, Barkley finally was playing unreal. Like he had a touchdown in the first 17 seconds, a full field drive. So he was almost like looking like the Barkley of last year. So if he comes out and plays that way against your Packers, who did get dominated on the ground, like you're in trouble.
You probably have to be the one who talks about this one.
It's interesting. Both of these teams. This is from the outside, and you guys know them inside out. But I've found them disappointing this year. I don't think they've lived up to the expectation that we've had from them. Their records are good and they're doing well, but they've
I
also
think Eagles are number one in the NFC.
no, but the way they've played, like I feel like I've maybe seen one complete game from the Eagles, if you know what I mean. Like, but that's it. For the first few weeks, it's like, where the hell is the receiving core? And for the next few weeks, it was like, has Saquon Barkley forgotten how to run the ball? And the defense has been up and down. Like, there've been some games where they have not been the force that they were last season. And the Packers started the season with everyone, all of a sudden, they're at the top of everyone's power rankings.
I reckon we've had 2 complete games, if that helps.
Yeah, but that's right. And so I go into this one, I see 2 amazing rosters that have played some of the best football in the league, but I'm not confident of who's going to show up this weekend. Has the potential to be the game of the week, absolutely. You expect a high standard of football out of it. I would lean towards the Eagles for the reason that good teams coming off the bye are really hard to beat. And the Eagles are a good team. They're coming off the bye. Saquon Barkley having such a great game before the bye. You imagine he cannot wait to get back out there and run. And I think that should be a worry.
And AJ Brown rested in the week that they played the Giants. So he's had 2 weeks off as well. So he's going to be coming in even more fresh as well. Barkley, I think, needed the game that he had last week to hopefully rejuvenate him. And hopefully the Eagles are going to sort out. Like, their offensive line, we've had so many injuries on the offensive line, and that's had a lot to do with Saquon not being able to run the ball.
Of course, properly. Yeah.
And then if Hurts is getting pressured more, then he's not hitting his wide receivers. So there's been, now that we're finally get our offensive line under control and back to where it should be, hopefully we'll have a little bit more of an offensive domination.
Packers by 10.
Huge.
0 analysis, Packers by 10.
There's too much Eagles. I just throw it out there. No, I think it was another kick in the face. But I reckon I said the other day, I definitely said the other day, we played to the opposition that we've got coming in.
Yeah.
So I feel like the big games we've really showed up, and this is as big as we've had in the last few weeks especially. So what's the squinting of the eyes
Did
for?
we lose to the Panthers?
That's what I'm saying. We dropped to we play
at the level.
We've lost to the Panthers and we lost to the Browns. So otherwise, beat the Lions, beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh, beat the Commanders. Like, I feel like we play at the level that we're playing against. So
Do you know what's funny?
Josh Jacobs will run for 100 and we're going to win.
What's really funny is the look that you both gave me when I said your teams have been disappointing this season. And then you say, yeah, we lost to the Panthers and the Browns. It's just like, yeah, they've been disappointing
We
this
also
season.
tied the... who are they?
Cowboys.
Yeah. Anyway.
Didn't lose.
Yeah, we
But
didn't lose.
this will be the battle of the NFC, won't it? Like,
Big
whoever,
chance, yeah.
whoever ends up winning this.
Just a battle of the NFC.
Yeah. It'll go a long way to... Well, we were number one, now they're number one. All right. This will go a long way to see who's number one. I know there's a lot of good teams out there, but it's going to be us.
Do you know there's more? There's more teams in there.
Baker and the Bucks are saying, what the fuck are you talking about? But,
Baker and the Bucks.
Yeah, the Rams.
What's the Seahawks record?
Nah, they're
6-2?
7-2, aren't they?
7-2?
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are going to have something to say about it as well.
Nah, they're fake. Fake news.
But when
Lordy.
the Eagles beat the Packers, they'll also be 7-2. So, you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we beat them by 10, we'll be 6-2-1.
It's such an ugly record. When there's a draw in there, it's so ugly.
It'll help. We just need to stay in front of the lines. Anyway. Thank you, Charlie. We do have our First Down Friday to get to. You've been elite this week, as always.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Great to have you back. Mazel tov. You're a married man. It's wonderful. And as I say to all newly married men, go Bills.
And just like that, we'll move on.
We move on to our First Down Friday bet of the week, brought to us by Unibet, our good friends at Unibet. Unfortunately, by the time we've done this recording and the time you listen to it, the First Down Friday would have started. It's my first down week. It's still 2-1. We've had a rough couple of weeks. We've lost by a lot by just.
Yeah. It's always seems to be the way. And the First Down Friday is meant to be like our first free hit, have some money to play with for the rest of the week. Just unfortunately, they've just been dropping by also small amounts.
I do have mine. I will run through it quickly. Bo Nix 200 plus, Cortland Sutton 40 plus, Troy Franklin 3 plus receptions, and Ashton Genty. He's probably the little spicy bit in there, 40 plus rushing yards, but they do rely on him, so I feel like that's safe.
Yeah, well, the Raiders got to rely on someone, don't they? And Gino ain't it.
What you got to really get around, which has been huge for us the last 2 weeks, our 1K club, we're 2-0. So as a group,
Yeah.
we're dominating. We're 2-0. They're that scared that they've brought the odds right down, but I
So
still
far
get
down.
on. It started at 10. It's down to 3. We're going to work that out, that it's going to be a lot more juicy next week, but still worth getting on it because a win's a win, mate.
Yeah, so you just got to find them in the Unibet featured section of the app. And if you don't know where to find that, check it out on Instagram. We've made posts about it. It's super simple, but just follow the steps.
The 1K club this week, you made it. Drake London. No, that's our touchdown. Early morning touchdowns was just perfect. Drake London, Rico Dowdle, Jefferson, and Allen to combine for 3+.
Easy.
Even that's $2.50. I do want to get the 1K club. Here it is. Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, and Stafford for 1,000. Stafford's nearly going to get 1,000 by himself.
Yeah, well, he put up 380 against the 49ers last time he played, so he's an easy one to throw in there. I had to put Caleb Williams in there just to annoy you, really. That was my whole
And Jared
point.
Goff. They put them both in there.
It was really just to rail you, but I need Caleb Williams to keep on throwing the ball so he can get to 4,000 by the end of the year. He's so close. He's on track for 3,800.
Yeah.
So close.
I wouldn't hate it if this one misses out. Nah, it's home. It's good as done. Make sure you do hit us up for our unique Unibet link and keep following the featured markers, mate. It's been great.
So good. It's the best. It's our best winning section of the whole podcast is the featured market. So jump on board and come win with us.
Absolutely. See you next week.
Go Birds.
All right.